Your hand moves before your mind decides. You are working on something important. Then suddenly, the phone is in your palm. You do not remember picking it up. You stare at the screen without purpose. There is no notification, no message, no reason. Yet here you are, scrolling again. This has happened more times today than you can count. It is not weakness, it is not laziness. It is something far stranger happening inside your brain. Have you ever stopped to ask why this keeps happening? You feel intelligent, you feel disciplined. But still, the reach happens, again and again. Your phone sits face down on the desk. You promised yourself focus today. Within minutes, your hand betrays you. The screen lights up under your fingers. You did not consciously choose to look. The choice was already made somewhere deeper. The real question is not why you give in. The question is why you reach it all. That single movement holds a hidden mechanism. Once you see it clearly, you cannot unsee it. It will change how you understand your own mind. It will change how you spend your hours. This is the part most productivity advice never mentions. Most people blame will pain. They imagine champagne, luxury cars, massive houses. But willpower has very little to do with this. Something deeper is operating beneath your awareness. Your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do. The design itself is the problem now. Picture this. You are reading, you are writing, you are thinking carefully. A small discomfort appears in your body. It might be boredom, it might be uncertainty, it might be effort. Your brain registers that discomfort as a signal it learned long ago to escape from. The fastest, easiest escape now lives in your pocket. It glows, it vibrates, it waits. The phone is not the cause of the reach. The phone is only the exit door. Neuroscientists call this affective forecasting. Your brain predicts touching the phone will feel better than the present moment. That prediction does not need to be true, it only needs to arrive quickly. Within milliseconds, your nervous system has already chosen escape. Your conscious mind catches up much later. You are not deciding, you are reacting to a feeling you barely noticed inside yourself. This is why the reach feels automatic, because in a real sense, it is automatic. What neuroscience discovered next changes everything. The brain does not actually crave the phone itself. It craves relief. Relief from boredom, relief from difficulty, relief from uncertainty about what to do next. The phone became the universal answer to every uncomfortable feeling. It works in only seconds. Compare that to real focus. Focus asks you to sit with discomfort, to stay with the hard thing longer. Your brain has been trained thousands of times that an easier option is always 1 inch away. Each scroll reinforces the loop deeper. Each refresh strengthens the neural wiring beneath. You are not addicted to your phone, you are addicted to skipping difficult moments. The phone is just the most convenient skip button ever invented in human history. This explains something most people cannot articulate: why you reach even when you are not bored. Why you reach in the middle of a sentence you were writing. Why you reach right before a hard task begins. The reach happens at the threshold between ease and effort. Your brain detects the incoming difficulty. It pulls the emergency cord before you arrive. If you've experienced this, you're not alone, and you're not broken. You are operating a brain that evolved to conserve energy. Mental effort is biologically expensive. For most of human history, avoiding unnecessary effort kept you alive longer. Today, the same instinct keeps you scrolling. The instinct itself is not the enemy. The modern environment around it is. You live inside a system designed to exploit that instinct. Every app studied your brain and adapted to it. The notifications, the colors, the infinite scroll, the red dots, none of it is accidental. It was engineered carefully to meet your brain exactly where it is weakest. So when you reach, you are not failing. You are responding to a trap that was built around you. But knowing the trap exists is the first real step out of it. Consider the design for a moment. Engineers ran thousands of behavioral tests on real users. They measured exactly what color triggered a tap, what sound triggered a check. They optimized every pixel against your patience, every animation against your willpower. You are not in a fair fight. You never were. The contest was rigged from the start. Recognizing this removes the shame. Shame keeps you stuck in the loop forever. Clarity is what sets you free from it. Comment which moment makes you reach the most. Before meetings. Before bed, during hard tasks. If this feels familiar, drop a single word below. Reach. Naming the pattern weakens its grip on you. That alone changes something quiet inside you. Now stay with me, because the next part reveals exactly what to do about it. The mistake most people make is fighting the reach. They white-knuckle their attention. They hide the phone. They install blockers. They feel guilty when they inevitably fail again. But fighting the symptom never removes the cause. The cause is the unmet feeling underneath the urge. The discomfort that triggered the reach is still there. The blocker only delays the escape briefly. This is why most digital detoxes collapse within days. The underlying mechanism was never addressed. What's coming next is the exact method that fixes this. The shift is not about removing the phone, it is about meeting the feeling first. When you notice the urge to reach, pause for 3 seconds. Do not move your hand yet. In those 3 seconds, ask one quiet question. What am I trying to escape from right now? The answer will surprise you almost every time. It is rarely the work itself. It is usually a small emotion, a flicker of self-doubt, a whisper of confusion, a breath of boredom. Name it silently. Just name it gently. That is the entire technique in one move. Naming a feeling reduces its intensity by nearly 50%. This is documented neuroscience. The escape urge weakens noticeably. The phone loses its magnetic pull. You return to your work. This works because you broke the loop at its origin, not at the surface symptom. Stay with me. This next part will explain something about your brain you've never been able to articulate. Once you practice this pause, you start to notice something stranger. The reaches were never random at all. They cluster around specific moments, the start of hard tasks, the middle of complex problems, the 5 minutes before a deadline, the pause after finishing one thing and before starting another. These are threshold moments, moments when your brain stands at the edge of effort. The reach is your nervous system avoiding that edge. Every single time it happens. Map your own threshold moments carefully. Write them down for one full day. You will be shocked at how predictable your reaches actually are. The pattern was always there. You just never had the language for it. This is the part most productivity advice never mentions. That you can do something that almost no one does. You can prepare for the threshold before you arrive at it. Before starting a hard task, set the phone in another room, not because you lack control, but because you know exactly which moment will tempt you, and you remove the option in advance. This is not willpower, this is design. You are designing around your nervous system, not against it. The people who focus deeply are not stronger than you. They are simply better designed in their environment. They have removed the easy escape from the threshold moment entirely. When the discomfort comes, there is no convenient exit nearby, so they stay. And they work. This small environmental shift creates an enormous internal change. The brain has nowhere to run. It is forced to meet the moment directly. At first, this feels uncomfortable and even strange. Within 1 week, something begins to change. The discomfort softens around the edges. The mind learns it can survive what it used to flee from. This is a slow neurological repair. Slowly, their brain learns a new and important truth, that staying with effort is actually survivable. That difficulty does not need to be escaped. That focus is something you build, not something you have. But there is something even more surprising about this pattern. The reach is not just about escape. It is also about identity. Every time you reach, you are reinforcing a story. The story that you cannot sit with effort. Every time you do not reach, you are writing a different story. A story of someone who can. Over weeks, that new story becomes a new identity. A quieter mind. A steadier hand. A longer attention. You stop reaching because you stop being the kind of person who reaches. This is the deepest mechanism of all. The reach was never about the phone, it was about who you believed yourself to be. Change that belief one threshold at a time. The phone loses its power on its own. This is the part very few people ever reach, because most quit before the identity shifts. They try for 3 days. They fail. They conclude they are simply bad at focus. But they stop too early. The wiring takes about 2 to 3 weeks to begin shifting. If you can stay with the practice through that window, something quiet and powerful happens. The reach loses its automatic quality. It becomes a thought you can observe, not a movement you cannot stop. So tonight, try one small thing, just one practice. Notice the next time your hand moves toward the phone. Pause for 3 full breaths. Name the feeling underneath the urge, then make a real choice, not a reactive one. You may still reach. That is completely fine. The pause itself is the practice. Over days, the pause grows longer. The reach grows weaker. Something inside you shifts quietly. You begin to feel something you had forgotten. The texture of your own attention. The slow return of depth. The quiet power of staying with something difficult. This is what focus actually feels like. Not strain, not force, just steady presence. Most people will think becoming a millionaire looks dramatic. They imagine champagne, but because no one ever showed them the door, they kept fighting the symptom instead of the source. You now hold something rare. You hold the actual mechanism. You hold the actual practice. What you do with this next is entirely yours. No app can give you back this space. No course can do the pause for you. The practice belongs only to you. The world will keep designing better hooks, smarter notifications, faster escapes, brighter screens. But you will have something they cannot reach, the space between the urge and the action. In that space lives every meaningful thing you will ever do in this life. If this resonated, leave a single word below, your story, your moment of recognition. Subscribe and stay close, because the next video goes deeper into the science of that space. Your hand will keep reaching until you teach it not to. Your hours are not infinite. Your attention is your last real currency. Spend it on what matters most to you. Welcome to the path.